We're soon going to be doing a lab in class where we determine the activity series. You've been recently learning about double displacement reactions that only work if a solid, liquid, or gas forms. For a single displacement reaction, when we're trying to decide if those work, we're going to follow a different set of rules. So when you have a single displacement reaction, it gives you some generic ones up here at the top, A plus BC making AC plus B, or A plus BC making BA plus C, depending on who's cutting in. We said it's like someone cutting in at a dance, and they have to decide who they want to dance with. The goal of this lab is to develop something called an activity series, which is a list of elements in their order, their ability to replace other elements. Any element can replace all of the elements below it, but none of the ones above it. So the most reactive one is at the top of the list. What we're going to do for this activity series that we're going to develop, we're going to create one to help us determine if a single displacement reaction will occur or not. And so we're going to come up with a ranking of 5 different metals: calcium, copper, iron, magnesium, and zinc, by reacting it with water. Those 5 elements are going to be reacted with water, with hydrochloric acid, and possibly each other. So I'm not sure how many of you guys might have seen the movie Mean Girls. If you're familiar with the movie Mean Girls, they had this thing called a burn book where they wrote horrible things about the people that they didn't like inside this book. Okay, so for this lab, we're basically going to pretend like we're one of the mean girls, and we are going to rank the elements of who are the studs, and then who are the duds. And we are going to rank calcium, copper, iron, magnesium, and zinc for who's the best and who's the worst. So we said single displacement reactions are like someone cutting in at a dance, right? So what I want you to picture right now in your mind, I would like you to picture the most beautiful person in the world that you could possibly imagine. Maybe it's a celebrity crush you have. Maybe it's the person sitting right next to you. I don't know, right? But picture that person. Who do you think is the most beautiful person in the world? Then, sorry to break your reverie, I would like you to picture the person that you cannot stand the most in this world. Oh, sorry to break your dream there for just a second. Okay? So I'm going to give you a scenario here. We're going to have A plus B, C. So let's pretend that you are element C. That's you. And remember that picture, that person that you just pictured a second ago that was the most beautiful person in the world? Let's say by some lucky twist of fate, you get to dance with the most beautiful person in the world. So this was the gorgeous person, right? Whoever that is B. Oh, gorgeous person, not gorgeous people. There we go. Okay, and that person that you just thought of just a second ago that was blech, you just can't stand them, that's A, awful person. So let's just say that you're dancing with the gorgeous person, and awful person A taps gorgeous person B on the shoulder and says they want to dance with you. Oh my God, no way would you let them cut in, right? You don't want to give up dancing with the gorgeous person to dance with the awful person. You're not going to let element A cut in for element B, right? So this would be a no reaction. You won't let it happen. You want to continue dancing with the gorgeous person. But let's say by some horrible twist of fate, this situation was reversed. What if we had A, C, and B wanted to cut in? So C is still you, And A is still awful person. Yuck. So you're dancing with the awful person. Ugh. And B, the gorgeous person, wants to cut in and dance with you. Are you going to let that happen? Heck yeah, you are, right? So at the end of the reaction, you are going to go with B, and you're going to drop C like a hot potato, right? So if we had to come up with a ranking, if I got rid of those labels of awful person, gorgeous person, and we just looked at the reactions themselves, and I took those labels away, I'm going to erase those labels, right? And I'm just going to keep you. If we had to rank element A versus element B and say, who's the stud, who's the dud? When C starts with B, he doesn't let A cut in. He prefers to stay with B over A. And then in the second scenario, C is starting with A and has the option of going with B and does. So there, he chooses to go with B. So in both cases, it's kind of obvious that he likes B better. When he starts with B, he wants to stay with B, and he does not let A cut in. When he starts with A and is given the choice to go with B, he considers that an upgrade and goes with B. So in our rankings, we must put B is a stud and A is a dud. And that's going to be the point of our single displacement lab that we're going to do shortly.